Hello and welcome back to Animated Banners with CSS. Now that we've got our snow exported, we're going to talk about the evergreen tree here as well as the snowman, which we haven't looked at yet. But before we do that, let me very quickly turn off all of the layers except for the background group, which contains the hills, the sky, and this rectangle here. I'm going to leave all of that where it is and save it as our background image. So let's go ahead and save that for the web. And I just use the keyboard shortcut Command-Shift-Option-S, or if you're using a PC, Control-Shift-Alt and S, or you can find it in the File menu under Save for Web. And we're going to save this as a JPEG. We'll go ahead and choose JPEG High, and that's only 10K, so that's perfect. We'll go ahead and click on Save. In fact, let's go ahead and bring the quality up a little bit. I'm seeing some banding there. So let's try bringing the quality up to 70, and we'll see that only brings it up to 14K, so that's still pretty good. We'll click on Save, and then again I'm going to save this in the Assets folder for now. Later on we'll actually move these images into our Site folder as we start building this, but for now we'll just save it in the Assets folder, and we'll just save it as bannerbg.jpg. So we'll save that, and then we'll talk about the tree as well as the snowman. And the way this animation is going to work is going to be a little different than the rest of our animations. With our snow animation, for example, it's just going to be on a constant loop. Easy enough. With our text animations, we're going to have one piece of text animate off while another piece of text animates on. And then later that second piece will animate off as the first piece animates back on, and that's going to loop. Well, this one's going to work a little bit different because before the looping starts, we want the tree to animate on by itself. So the tree itself is actually going to come from below, and it's going to animate up as the text is animating in. So it's like the scene is kind of building itself before our eyes. But after the tree animates up, after about 5 seconds, as our slide sits here, gives us time to read the text that's on it, when it animates to the next slide or the next set of text, the tree is going to animate back down, and the snowman is going to come down and take its place. And the way I want to do this is I want to put the snowman and the evergreen tree here in the same image. So let's pull these items into a new image. Let's go ahead and just create a new image. And for now, we'll make it 900 by 900. So we have enough room to work with. And I'm going to explain kind of what we're doing here. So I'm going to go to the File menu here, and we'll click on Place. And we'll grab the snowman image. And we'll just hit Enter for now. And then we'll also do it again for the tree image. And then once we have both of these images in place here, I want to explain what we're going to do, and we might need to resize these a little bit in order to really illustrate this. So in the beginning, let's grab our tree image here and drag it down to the very bottom. So this is basically what our image is going to look like. We're going to have the snowman up at the top, the tree down here at the bottom. For now I'm going to turn our background black just so we can see the tree and the snowman a little bit better. And again, the way it's going to work, at the very beginning of the animation, the tree is going to come up from below. It's going to animate up. But in order for that to happen, we need enough space between the top of the tree and the bottom of the snowman so that there's a big blank space over the banner. So in other words, let's say that our banner, let's go ahead and just draw a rectangle here. Let's say that our banner is just a little bit taller than the tree, which it is. So let's say that this blue square represents our banner. Well, at the very beginning of the animation, there's going to be no tree and no snowman, but the tree is going to animate up from below, which means that the banner is going to be somewhere in the middle of these two items. So our image is going to be placed on the banner, but it's going to be positioned in such a way that the snowman is going to be above the banner and the tree is going to be below the banner. So what we need to do, let's grab all three of these layers and resize them so that we can actually make room for it. What we need to do is we need to position the snowman in such a way that he's not overlapping the banner at all, and then we'll do the same thing with the tree, drag it down here so that it's below the banner. So then, let's go ahead and grab both of these layers here. When we come to the very beginning of the animation, the tree will animate up like so. Then after 5 seconds, after the slide has sat around for 5 seconds, giving us a chance to read all the text on it, it's going to animate back down to the point where the snowman will be at the top of the banner. and then it's just going to animate back and forth as it switches back and forth between slides. But again, at the very beginning, we need to make sure there's enough room between the snowman and the tree so that we don't see anything in the banner itself, so that we can then animate the tree up and into place. And since our banner is going to be 300 pixels tall, we need a little bit more than 300 pixels of space between the snowman and the tree. So in order to do this, I'm going to make an image that's 1000 pixels tall, and that should give us enough room to work with. So I'm going to create a new image, and for now we'll leave it at a width of 900. We'll end up changing that after we pull our images in, but we're going to give it a height of 1000 pixels and click on OK. Then we're going to grab the tree layer here. We could grab it here, or we could use the place command. Let's just use the place command. So we'll go to our Untitled 2 document, go to File, Place, just like we've done before. We'll grab under the Project Files folder, under Assets, we'll grab the tree image, and we'll drag it all the way to the bottom, and it should snap to the bottom. And then we'll go to File, Place again, and this time we'll grab the snowman image, and we'll drag it all the way up to the top till it snaps to the top. Now you'll notice it cuts off a little bit of the top of the snowman's hat, but that's okay. That's kind of where the banner's supposed to cut off anyway. Once the snowman actually animates on, the bottom portion of the snowman is going to be cut off as well. But as you can see now, if we just grab the rectangular marquee tool and just click and drag out here, we can see that we have plenty of room to work with between the two items. We have 302 pixels of height here on this marquee, and I'm not even dragging it all the way down to the top of the tree. So we've got enough room to work with there. So Command D to turn off that selection. And then we want to make sure that these two images are horizontally centered with each other. So I'm just going to grab both of those layers, the snowman and the tree layers, V to switch to the Move tool. And then up here at the top, I'm going to click on this icon right here, which will align the horizontal centers together. Then I'm going to drag the background layer to the trash can to get rid of it. And then we'll just trim our image. So we'll go to Image, Trim, and trim away all of the extra transparent pixels. So we're going to trim again based on transparent pixels. Make sure that top, bottom, left, and right are checked. Really, we're just trimming away the left and right here because the top and bottom are touching, or the graphics here are touching the top and bottom. But either way, we can leave all four checked and it'll still work. So we'll just click on OK. And there we go. It trims it down to the width that we need, and then we can save it. So we'll go to File, Save for Web. Once again, I'm going to save it as a PNG file. And it's only 32K, so that's not too big. Let's click on Save. You definitely don't want a lot of images like this that are detailed and have a lot of transparent space around it. If you have a lot of images like that, the file size is really going to add up quickly. But for a simple animation with just a few bits of movement in there, it shouldn't be too bad. So we'll click on Save. And in our Assets folder, let's just save this as foreground.png. And we'll click on Save. And once that's saved, we can move on to our next video. Thank you for watching.